Hey, babe. Oh, did my baby girl wake up? Oh no. Sorry. Was I too loud? No. Oh, you weren't sleeping? Yeah, sure. Tell it to your eyes. They have sleep written all over them. Your tiny little eyes. Mm, mm. Sorry for letting you wait for so long. I thought I'd have everything done a little earlier, but, it is what it is. How was your day, baby? Yeah, the long one. Yeah, I understand. Oh, my sweet girl. My day? Yeah, it was fine. I mean, it was long, but it was good. Got a lot of work done. But I just couldn't wait to come home to you. You're just on my mind all the time when I'm away from you. Well, who am I kidding? You're on my mind when you're laying right next to me, so. mm, mm. What are you doing to me? Just can't get you out of my head. Yeah, come here. Snuggle real close to me. I'll just sit up a little bit and you can put your head in my lap, okay? Yeah, that's good. No, I'm not really tired yet. I think I'll just read for a little bit until I get tired. No, we can cuddle. I mean, here. One hand's holding the book and the other is stroking your back. And your head, of course, if you want to. That's good? Okay. I mean, gotta make sure my little princess is comfortable. Oh, that's my favorite view. You and my lap. No, not like that. You perv. No. You just laying there, all peaceful, eyes closed. You're so pretty. Okay, I'm just gonna read for a little bit, okay? Do you mind the light? No? Okay. What did you say? Oh, I should read out loud. I thought you wanted to sleep. Oh, like a good night story? Well, I thought you were, old enough, but okay. But to be honest, I'm not sure if you'll like what I'm reading. It's a reread, actually. Why? Because it's poetry. And no, not poetry like that. It's contemporary poetry, but not like poetry slam. No, it's quite interesting actually. The author of that collection actually won a Nobel Prize for Literature in 2020. Yeah, her name was Louise Glück. I think she died some time ago. Well, I think you might actually like it. So, if you want, I can just read you my favorite poems from that collection. Yeah, if you don't mind. It's the collection that introduced me to contemporary poetry, actually. Okay, yeah, make yourself comfortable. I think the first one It's actually the longest one, but it's really beautiful. It's called October. I know. It's divided into 6 parts. Yeah, that's about it. Okay, you listening? You sure? Okay. Okay, I'll start. October. Number 1. Is it winter again? Is it cold again? Didn't Frank just slip on the ice? Didn't he heal? Weren't the spring seeds planted? Didn't the night end? Didn't the melting ice flood the narrow gutters? Wasn't my body rescued? Wasn't it safe? Didn't the scar form invisible above the injury? Terror and cold, didn't they just end? Wasn't the back garden harrowed and planted? I remember how the earth felt, red and dense. In stiff rows, weren't the seeds planted? Didn't vines climb the south wall? I can't hear your voice for the wind's cries whistling over the bare ground. I no longer care what sound it makes. When was I silenced? When did it first seem pointless to describe that sound? What it sounds like can't change what it is. Didn't the night end? Wasn't the earth safe when it was planted? Didn't we plant the seeds? Weren't we necessary to the earth? The vines, were they harvested? Summer after summer has ended, bomb after violence. It does me no good to be good to me now. Violence has changed me. Daybreak, the low hills shine, ochre and fire, even the fields shine. I know what I see. Sun that could be the August sun, returning everything that was taken away. You hear this voice? This is my mind's voice. You can't touch my body now. It has changed in once. It has hardened. Don't ask it to respond again. A day like a day in summer, exceptionally still. The long shadows of the maples nearly mauve on the gravel paths. In the evening, warmth. Night like a night in summer. It does me no good. Violence has changed me. My body has grown cold like the stripped fields. Now there's only my mind, cautious and wary, with the sense it is being tested. Once more the sun rises as it rose in summer. Bounty, balm after violence. Balm after the leaves have changed, after the fields have been harvested and turned. Tell me, this is the future. I won't believe you. Tell me I'm living. I won't believe you. Snow had fallen. I remember music from an open window. Come to me, said the world. This is not to say it's spoken exact sentences, but that I perceived beauty in this manner. Sunrise, a film of moisture on each living thing. Pools of cold light formed in the gutters. I stood at the doorway, ridiculous as it now seems. What others found in art, I found in nature. What others found in human love, I found in nature. Very simple, but there was no voice there. Winter was over, and the thawed dirt bits of green were showing. Come to me, said the world. I was standing in my wool coat at a kind of bright portal. I can finally say, long ago. It It gives me considerable pleasure. Beauty, the healer, the teacher. Death cannot harm me more than you have harmed me, my beloved life. The light has changed. Middle sea is turned darker now, and the songs of morning sound over-rehearsed. This is the light of autumn, not the light of spring. The light of autumn, you will not be spared. The songs have changed. The unspeakable has entered them. This is the light of autumn, not the light that says, I am reborn. Not the spring dawn. I strained, I suffered, I was delivered. This is the present, an allegory of waste. So much has changed, and still you are fortunate. The ideal burns in you like a fever. Or not like a fever, like a second heart. The songs have changed, but really they're still quite beautiful. They have been concentrated in a smaller space, the space of the mind. They're dark now, with desolation and anguish. And yet the notes recur. They hover oddly in anticipation of silence. The ear gets used to them. The eye gets used to disappearances. You will not be spared, nor will what you love be spared. A wind has come and gone, taking apart the mind. It has left in its wake a strange lucidity. How privileged you are to be still passionately clinging to what you love. The forfeit of hope has not destroyed you. Maestoso doloroso. This is the light of autumn. It has turned on us. Surely it is a privilege to approach the end, still believing in something. Is it true there's not enough beauty in the world? It is also true that I am not competent to restore it. Neither is there candor, and here I may be of some use. I am at work, though I am silent. The bland misery of the world bounds on us on either side an alley lined with trees. We're companions here, not speaking, each with his own thoughts. Behind the trees, iron gates of the private houses, the shuttered rooms, somehow deserted, abandoned, as though it were the artist's duty to create hope. But out of what? What? The word itself falls, a device to refute perception. At the intersection, ornamental lights of the season. I was young here, riding the subway with my small book as though to defend myself against the same world. You are not alone, the poem said, in the dark tunnel. The brightness of the day becomes the brightness of the night. The fire becomes the mirror. My friend, the earth, is bitter. I think sunlight has failed her. Bitter or weary, it is hard to say. Between herself and the sun, something has ended. She wants now to be left alone. I think we must give up turning to her for affirmation. Above the fields, above the roofs of the village houses, the brilliance that made all life possible becomes the cold stars. Lie still and watch. They give nothing, but ask nothing. From within the earth's bitter disgrace, coldness and barrenness, my friend the moon rises. She's beautiful tonight. But when is she not beautiful? So, how did you like that? What was it about? Well, October technically it was about autumn and the winter thereafter, but it's also very much about trauma, living in a world of war and terrorism. It's about healing, or trying to heal, trying to cope. Well, what do you think about it? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can see that. Well, I have another good one. And I know every good girl likes Greek mythology. So this one's about Greek mythology, about Persephone to be exact. It's called Persephone The Wanderer. I'll start. In the first version, Persephone is taken from her mother, and the goddess of the earth punishes the earth. This is consistent with what we know of human behavior, that human beings take profound satisfaction in doing harm, particularly unconscious harm. We may call this negative creation. Persephone's initial sojourn in hell continues to be pawed over by scholars who dispute the sensations of the Virgin. Did she cooperate in her rape? Or was she drugged, violated against her will, as happens so often now to modern girls? As is well known, the return of the beloved does not correct the loss of the beloved. Persephone returns home stained with red juice like a character in Hawthorne. I'm not certain I will keep this word. Is Earth home to Persephone? Is she at home conceivably in the bed of the god? Is she home nowhere? Is she a born wanderer, in other words, an existential replica of her own mother, less hamstrung by ideas of causality? You're allowed to like no one, you know. The characters are not people, they are aspects of a dilemma, a conflict. 3 parts, just as the soul is divided: ego, superego, it. Likewise, the 3 levels of the known world, a kind of diagram that separates heaven from earth, from hell. You must ask yourself, where is it snowing? White of forgetfulness, of desecration. It is snowing on earth. The cold wind says Persephone is having sex in hell. Unlike the rest of us, she doesn't know what winter is, only that she is what causes it. She's lying in the bed of Hades. What's in her mind? Is she afraid? Has something blotted out the idea of mind? She does know the earth is run by mothers, this much is certain. She also knows she is not what is called a girl any longer. Regarding incarceration, she believes she has been a prisoner since she's been a daughter. The terrible reunions in store for her will take up the rest of her life. When the passion for expiation is chronic, fierce, you do not choose the way you live. You do not live. You're not allowed to die. You drift between earth and death, which seem finally strangely alike. Scholars tell us that there is no point in knowing what you want when the forces contending over you could kill you. White of forgetfulness, white of safety. They say there is a rift in the human soul which was not constructed to belong entirely to life. Earth asks us to deny this rift, a threat disguised as suggestion. As we've seen in the tale of Persephone, which should be read as an argument between the mother and the lover, the daughter is just meat. When death confronts her, she's never seen the meadow without the daisies. Suddenly, she's no longer singing her maidenly songs about her mother's beauty and fecundity. Where the rift is, the break is. Song of the earth, song of the mythic vision of eternal life. My soul shattered with the strain of trying to belong to earth. What will you do when it is your turn in the field with a god? Yeah. So this one's a little more tricky. I mean, in its core, it explores sexuality and moral taboos, especially amongst young girls, but I guess in a way you can translate that to every gender. But, as a man myself, I'm not an expert when speaking about this poem, but being someone's child is sort of prison, and liberating yourself sexually from that should free you. But oftentimes, you just find yourself in another prison with your partner. And no, I don't think I'm in a prison with you. And even if I were in a prison with you, I'd at least know and love the company. I think I accidentally quoted American Horror Story there. Sorry. There's actually another poem from Hades' perspective. Yeah, you want to hear that too? Okay. Okay, where is it? There we go. It's called A Myth of Devotion. When Hades decided he loved this girl, he built for her a duplicate of Earth. Everything the same, down to the meadow, but with a bed added. Everything the same, including sunlight, because it would be hard on a young girl to go so quickly from bright light to utter darkness. Gradually, he thought he'd introduce the night, first as the shadows of fluttering leaves, then moon, then stars, then no moon, no stars. Let Persephone get used to it slowly. In the end, he thought she'd find it comforting. A replica of Earth, except there was love here. Doesn't everyone want love? He waited many years building a world, watching Persephone in the meadow, Persephone, a smeller, a taster. If you have one appetite, he thought, you have them all. Doesn't everyone want to feel in the night the beloved body, compass, pole star, to hear the quiet breathing that says, I am alive? That means also you are alive because you hear me, you are here with me. And when one turns, the other turns. That's what he felt, the Lord of Darkness, looking at the world he had constructed for Persephone. It never crossed his mind that there'd be no more smelling here. Certainly no more eating. Guilt, terror, the fear of love. These things he couldn't imagine. No lover ever imagines them. He dreams, he wonders what to call this place. First he thinks the new hell, then the garden. In the end, he decides to name it Persephone's Girlhood. A soft light rising above the level meadow behind the bed. He takes her in his arms. He wants to say, I love you. Nothing can hurt you. But he thinks this is a lie, so he says in the end, you're dead. Nothing can hurt you. Which seems to him a more promising beginning, more true. Yeah. Yeah, it's not necessarily what we think of when we think of Hades and that conflict, right? But he was a lover, only seeing love, not caring about the other feelings or consequences. Loving mindlessly. I'll read you another one that I love very much, and then I'll go to sleep as well, okay? Okay. It's called Crater Lake. I just have to look for it. There it is. Crater Lake. It's a short one, promise. There was a war between good and evil. We decided to call the body good. That made death evil. It turned the soul against death completely. Like a foot soldier wanting to serve a great warrior, the soul wanted to side with the body. It turned against the dark, against the forms of death it recognized. Where does the voice come from that says, suppose the war is evil? That says, suppose the body did this to us, made us afraid of love. Yeah, that was it. Yeah, thank you. I like it a lot. Okay, well, let's go to sleep. Come here, my sweet girl. You feeling sleepier? Good. Me too. You know, I love my poems, but I love nothing more than falling asleep with my girl in my arms. I think I'll dream of the underworld now. Persephone, Hades, maybe even Orpheus and Eurydice. I don't care, as long as you're in my dreams as well. I even want to spend my dreams with you by my side. That's how much I love you. My sweet